Hi guys, this is Shelley over at The Complete Combatant. Once a month I write an article for Shooting Illustrated, and I like to do a video a couple months after it's been published. And the reason I do that is because I'm dyslexic, and I know that it helps with my learning. So I thought, instead of you reading an article, maybe you want to listen to this or watch the video, and maybe better learning will occur. So off we go. This one is called Do Criminals Target a Specific Age Group? This is from October 2023. The bad guy knows that as our age increases, our ability to defend ourselves decreases. I've been curious about what age group is most vulnerable to crime. So I did some research, and it looks like the elderly population wins that proverbial jackpot in several different styles of victimization. There are tons of articles out there and information that support my research, so much so that I've had to narrow down this subject matter for this article to just theft and burglary. So who is considered elderly? Well, uscourts.gov reports that there is absolutely no agreement among researchers on the specific age group that should be categorized as elderly. Some of the research on older offenders or victims of crime, they'll be categorized as 50 or above. Some say 60 or above. Other researchers say 65 or above, and then still some say over 75 is considered elderly. So in my research presented for this specific article, this is going to be for ages 70 or more. Office of the Justice Program, their researchers have identified the elderly population as being more vulnerable to crime than other age groups. Below are some bullet points as to why they consider a more mature person is targeted. That would be socially isolated, physical characteristics, perception of mental weakness. They tend to live in urban areas, economic needs. You might depend on public transportation. You may follow predictable behavioral patterns, or you may be less aware or possibly more trusting of strangers and what's going on in your environment. So why do criminals actually target them? Well, we've just done the bullet points, but now establish the true why of it. Let's establish what kind of crimes are favored among these criminals. You may not believe this, but the elderly are the least victimized age group for violent, major crimes and felonies. But they're the most victimized for purse snatching. They rank the highest for burglary, physical abuse, robbery, and financial scams and fraud. A large group of seniors from 10 different counties mixed between Florida and Texas were all asked the same question. They were asked, once again, remember, this is age 70 and above. They were asked, what style of crime is a major concern for you, meaning that you're most afraid of? And their survey responses were a mixture of men and women. Purse snatching was 45%. Rape, which is once again a felony, 72%. Murder, 47%. Theft, 70%. And burglary, 70%. Some of them were in there, weren't they? Their answers were compared to the actual crimes reported in those counties. And some of their fears were solid, but some were exaggerated. The reported crimes in their counties for purse snatching, rape, and murder were almost non-existent. Once again, we're just talking these counties. Non-existent in their age group, but they were extremely high for that theft and the burglary. Through my research, I see a very distinct pattern on where and when these crimes take place. It's clearly the environment and location that breeds this opportunity. So most theft and burglaries were in broad daylight, between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. They were usually at the person's residence or within walking distance of their home. So they are outside the home or inside the home. Now that we've established who, what, why, where, and when, let's talk a little bit about property crime prevention. Maybe that's on your body when you're walking right away from the house, or burglary that happens at home for the ages 70 and above. But let's think about it without spending a big chunk of money. So here's some bullet points. Contact your local police department and see if they offer a home security check. They can be helpful in pointing out vulnerable areas around your residence. Locked doors and windows, barking dogs, put a timer on your lights, bright lights outside the home, trim your bushes, maybe leave a radio or TV on when you're away. Never leave a spare key in an obvious spot. Be creative. Have a friend accompany you when running errands. Walk with confidence, head up, look around, see if anyone takes interest in you. At the least, acquire verbal commands and pepper spray skills. Please consider pepper spray stream that would be on body with you, and that is across the eyes, ear to ear. And consider a mist for your home, and that is more something that sprays and kind of cones out to deny access. You need to consider a healthy mindset and consider taking a firearms class, something like the NRA's adapted shooting program. That's really pretty good. It's designed for elderly people and people with mobility issues. All things are ready if our minds be so. I'd like to talk about that healthy mindset just a little bit as we come to an end on this article. We're going to close with the definition of mindset from John Hearn. And John's the owner of Two Pillars Training and a Range Master staff instructor. So I'm going to quote his definition of mindset. I really like this one, by the way. For me, the mindset is a simple word to describe a very complex state of mind. Reduced to its essence, proper mindset is the possession of mental representation, aka a mental map that accurately reflects one's daily reality. I love that. The research from a variety of fields, whether it's a professional sports team or a surgeon, tells us that those with the best mental maps consistently perform the best. A proper self-defense mindset starts with the acceptance that there is evil in this world. If you don't or can't accept that there is evil in this world, then mental preparation, tool carrying, acquiring skills, they're just motions gone through to feel better or safer, but it doesn't make you that. If you have accepted that this world, as is, then all your accepted best practices logically follow. Meaning, of course, what we just talked about, which is skill acquisitions, carrying tools, mental preparedness. For instance, if your mental map, is accurate, and you know that injury is always a possibility, and it naturally flows that you'll have the knowledge and tools to deal with it. Part of a valid mental map includes a risk profile that changes from day to day or even hour by hour. This realistic assessment of your greatest threats drives everything from the tools you carry to the choice to even carry a gun at a particular location. In a nutshell, mindset is the acceptance of the world as it is, not how we would like it to be. And then doing what is necessary to prepare. Unquote. I like that. Listen to that several times. It rings a bell for me, and I think it's just a real simple way to think about mindset. Well done, John. Thank you very much. Guys, that brings this one to an end. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate, of course, Shooting Illustrated for letting me get my thoughts out. Guys, have an excellent day. Bye.